Hello, and welcome to our Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban commentary. Your favorite and mine in the Harry Potter, both books and films.
Wait, you're saying you're like the audience or mine?
Well, like yours and
Yeah,
mine.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
because it's your favorite too, right?
Yeah.
I think this was the first Harry Potter movie I saw in theaters too, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't see the first two because they were stupid kids movies based on stupid kids books.
Right?
And then I watched this movie and I was like, oh shit.
And then you learned.
Even though the irony is, I watched this movie and I was like, oh, this is a lot darker, it's a lot more serious. And then I watched the first two, I was like, wait a minute. Oh, Harry.
I'm just masturbating. I'm not doing magic.
I promise. What do you have under that sheet, Harry? Is that a wand? No, it's just porn.
my-
Lots and lots of porn. Ha ha, yep. But this, we should point out, too, is the first Harry Potter movie that is not directed by...
I know why they wanted to do this for the opening, but I'm like, realistically, like, shouldn't that spell just maintain? Unless Harry's just bad.
Well, I mean, he's
I mean,
still
it's possible. He's not
learning.
great, but...
But yeah, no, this is the first Harry Potter movie that is not directed by Chris Columbus.
How would they even see the light? Unless they're literally standing in the hallway.
Well, I mean, he's not letting them get very far.
Look at that fucking shit-eating granny head. Yeah, fuck you, Uncle Dursley.
Wow.
That voice. Oh, man.
Yep.
Marge.
Yeah, this film is directed by Alfonso Gajon, I think that's how you say his name. He did like Gravity and all that. And right off the bat, it might sound like a weird thing to point out, but look at the color palette. Again, it's one of those kind of nerdy film things to notice. But right away, everything has kind of a grayish palette, whereas before they had a very kind of warm glow. Also, I think right here, they're shooting on digital, not film. I'm going to be throwing out a bunch of nerdy crap, so brace yourself.
That picture.
Notice that it's a lot of handheld stuff, not a lot of Steadicam stuff.
Why would you leave that open like that?
And what that does to a film, it gives it kind of a more on the ground, kind of real feel, because everything's not perfectly smooth. Everything is not, super cinematic in that sense, and it gives it kind of a more grounded feel. Not saying one is better than the other; they're just different. But if you're not really like up on film stuff, you might be looking at this movie and just thinking to yourself, God, just something.
Yeah, that's how you kill your animals. Don't give your animals wine.
Oh, she's gonna
or
get hers
alcohol.
coming. But yeah, so you might be looking at this movie like something about it just seems. Look, it's Harry Potter, but it just kind of no. I can't put my finger up, but it looks different. That's a lot of little things going on. The different kind of film
Well, you
stock.
can already tell the
Yeah.
whole coloration,
Well, again, the
color
lighting.
key, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the color palette, saturation, Steadicam versus handheld. Just a lot of little things that unless that.
Wow, and Harry actually gets clothes that fit him now.
Well, I'm sure they're afraid. I think he's got like gold coins. So I'm like, can he just trade that in for like legit like Muggle cash?
I don't know. Maybe.
Gold is still gold, right? Ooh, and here we go. And here we're starting to see some of that teenage angst come into play.
Puberty. It's rough for witches and wizards.
But again, moody, angsty teenager, fine. But what happens when these teenagers have magical abilities? Now, if they grew up in a magical home in the wizarding world, there's all kinds of safeguards. It's. But he's grown up in a Muggle household, so when he kind of goes off the rails, there's no magical safe block or block. Yep.
Her face.
And I like her know she knows what she's doing. And I look at them in the background, they're like,
Yeah.
oh. Which is why I was always wondering, like, why do they treat him like shit? Because he can... But because it's Harry Potter, I love how playful it is.
I know.
This could be really dark if they really wanted
She
to
could
do
have
it.
exploded.
Well, yeah, he could have killed her. He could have like made her like her arms and legs break. But no, he just kind of balloons her up.
I like how they're just watching, and fucking Dudley's just watching TV still.
Because I think at this point they've kind of grown accustomed to like magical shit now.
It's so funny because this is actually, I love the effect. It's still
Well,
really good.
It's a practical effect right
Yeah.
here still, right? Yeah, no, that's all practical. That's all real. Back when they did that, folks. Remember that? Practical effects? This is like a really enchanted version of Carrie right here.
Oh my god.
That, yeah. Ah! Harry's like, ooh, maybe I went too much.
It's like how they did the Willy Wonka, the girl,
Yeah.
the Berry Girl or whatever.
But I love how he's kind of curious about it too, because he's also kind of realizing his power at the same time can kind of manifest itself beyond
Yeah.
him. Like, he is magical, whether anyone wants him to be that dumb. Sorry, I love that. Yeah, I would have let it go too.
I know, right?
It's kind of horrifying, but it's hilarious.
And he just goes back to watching TV.
At this point, he's just like, whatever. I don't want to get a pig's tail coming out of my ass again.
I know.
I'm just
I love them in the fucking background. A dog.
I think Dudley at this point is like, I'm just happy it's not me. Slam that door, Harry. But you're seeing his frustration because, again, he's surrounded by... Like, he can't escape the legacy of his parents. That's the thing. Even in the Muggle world, he's being forced to, like... And again, he's
Is this
a
a
teen.
different guy that plays his dad now, or is it just...
I think
he
it's the
looks different?
same. See, I like that. See...
He's
And
nowhere
that's,
to go.
I know, but that's the thing. Okay, if I have nothing to lose, what's to stop me from just?
I know.
And that's
So
what
dumb.
You sure how look in the background. But see, I love the decision to leave was his.
Yeah.
He wasn't thrown out. He
But
just.
what about Hedwig? Where's Hedwig?
Well, Hedwig's probably just let her out finally, like just let her fly. But see, look at this. The beginning. There's not a lot of music, a lot of deep shadow. Right away,
This is the first movie where, like,
I feel like.
I mean, there was scary stuff in the first two, kind of, but like, there's more like legit, like I guess creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Like when he sees the Grim.
Yeah, and well, again, I love how there's. Again, nothing's happening. It's silent. And again, right away, it feels like this film is trying to be more of like a film and less about like Harry Potter the movie. It's like it's there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. I get it. It's a movie based on the Harry Potter books, but make a good movie. Utilize and I like the first two movies. Don't get me wrong, but I love this movie.
It's so good.
Yeah, this was the first one that I feel really focuses on trying to utilize the medium at its strongest to tell the Harry Potter story. I love that, how you just... I love how it's still mostly in shadow. Well, he likes that wand. This is cool, this
I
little
know.
bit. And like a lot of the stuff takes place at night, too. A lot of night shots.
Yeah.
I think everything in London, it takes place at night. See, I love, again, going back to world building and what have you, I love how there's stuff like this. I love how there's all these services. And again, that's kind of the perk of urban fantasy. Again, utilizing something that we have in our world, but with a magical twist. It's like, okay, obviously in London and whatnot, you see those the trolleys and whatnot, the double-decker buses that they're kind of famous for, that all the tourists love to ride. But I love how they have their own version of that too, and because it's London, they have the double-decker bus. I feel like if this was happening in New York City, it would be like an enchanted cab, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. I love this. Again, it's taking something we know that we're familiar with, but incorporating it into like this world that they have.
I wish buses were actually like that with beds in them. I mean, I guess it'd be kind of creepy because other people would watch you sleep, but it would be nice.
Yeah, it's got some
got a little something.
Yeah, a little somewhere there, homie. You might want to put some cortisone. I don't know, some kind of cream.
It's so funny because I remember reading a thing because the little head wasn't in the books, but I remember J.K. Rowling loved it so much she wished she had put it in the book. She said,
"Well, and that's what I'm saying. I love that there's already a bit more of a darker feel to it. Yeah, it's played for laughs, the head, but that's a shrunken head.
Yeah,
I don't feel you would have saw that in the first two movies. And I mean, it's a little too, it's, but it kind of feels more. Again, I feel like this film is trying to be less enchanting and ooh Harry, and more like,
Well, to be fair,
this is magic in the real world,
Yeah.
21st century. It's not always going to be super clean. It's not going to be always super wonderful. I mean, this isn't bad, but it's not. It's more twisted and demented a little bit, and I love this bit right here. Ooh,
I also think
it's
though,
triple decker bus. Excuse me.
yeah, I also think that by this point, I think in terms of even just J.K. Rowling's writing and story building, she really kind of got into like her
own like kind of mythos, so to speak.
Yeah, like I don't
which
know.
is good. It's always great
Like-
when you see the writer fall in love with her, so, because again, it's
Because I think
Gary
like
Oldman.
I know the third book is still my favorite. Third and fourth.
Well, a lot of people. That's what I heard a lot of people say. I've read all of the third book, and I admittedly have only read half of the fourth book. We're starting to buy the illustrated versions of the books now, so I'm going to start pick up where I left off. But from what I read so far, I love. I mean, I like what I was reading of Goblet of Fire, but I really, really was enjoying Prisoner of Azkaban.
Don't you mean reversed?
Huh? What? No, I was saying I'd read up to Goblet of Fire.
Oh, okay.
But out of the four that I've read so far, my favorite was Prisoner of Azkaban. I really, really enjoyed that book a lot because again, I like more kind of darker kind of stuff, and I like how this book, it's still fun. In this movie, it's still a lot of fun, but it has that more of that. Oh, I love this bit. So you still have the fun, stuff than Harry Potter, like the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead of just a big dining hall with floating candles, you show stuff like this, more twisted stuff, and that's I think where urban fantasy really shines, when you kind of show you how kind of the dementedness of having this stuff exist in the modern world. I mean, for better or for worse, Hogwarts might as well be another planet. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's another world. It's not, but it's far away, removed from anything normal. Uncle Fester.
Is that his young days?
Again, look at again. I know I'm probably gonna be bored with the death of this commentary, but it's like, look at the shots, the lighting, the use of shadow. It's like, it feels to me like what Harry Potter it would feel like, the world itself.
Stephen Hawking.
Even look at this. We saw the same little inn place in the first film. Look at the lighting.
It was a lot more inviting.
It was
magical
bright.
in the
It was
first one.
warm. Yeah. And look how the gun. This feels like Addams Family right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, okay, I'll stop gushing over all the nerdy stuff now. So I can start talking about the actual nerdy stuff you guys care about. I love this bit right here. Just one thing after another.
I wish somebody would offer me stuff like that.
I drive you... You guys don't know, for those who don't know, we're married. Yeah. And I do this to her all the time.
Yeah.
If you're sitting down at a table, I'll start picking up random things. And like him, I'll start offering it to him. Yeah, but I'll do like 20 things in a row to the point where you just get really angry and annoyed with me.
Yeah.
You're like, stop offering me things. And then I slink off with my pantomime hump. Oh. That was pretty funny though. Is it wrong that I like that chair? Is it wrong that I like that chair?
No, I was looking at it too.
We've been furniture shopping a lot lately, folks, and now whenever I watch stuff, I'm like, oh, that's a nice table. I like that chair. Oh, I know that would look good there.
I just wish the back was bigger.
See, and I'm kind of wondering too, like, are they kind of cutting corners for him because he is Harry Potter? I also think they're worried too. The big thing I think they want him at Hogwarts is for his own protection.
Yeah.
Because again, Dumbledore is the most powerful wizard in the world, so if Harry gets expelled, he's going to be kind of out there and about, where he's going to be more of a target. You know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously, too, they know that Sirius Black has escaped.
Yeah.
Sirius Black, of course, in this film being played by the wonderful, incredibly talented Gary Oldman,
Yep.
who I first discovered in 1994 with The Professional, or Leon, or now as it's kind of come to be known as Leon the Professional. Which I'll have to do a commentary for that movie sometime. But yeah, no, he's a... That's cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm. That bed.
That's a nice bed. I like that bed.
I know. Don't stick your face down there.
Again, this is the kind of stuff again I like, where it's more demented stuff. It's more crazy, weird. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Less magically enchanting, like ooh ah. The more like oh shit.
Well, because again, they showed us like the nice, safe, magical parts.
In the first two, I feel, despite all the
and now
weird
it's a
shit
lot of the kind of darker side of it.
Yeah, I mean, there was still some freaky shit in the first two movies, but this movie, I feel like, is now all about the other stuff. And I think it kind of works, too, because that sound that makes... But again, too, like, Harry is now, like... I like this part coming up right here. But, you know, they're like teenagers now, so they're a little less, you know, like, about everything, and they're a little bit more cynical because, well, they're teenagers, so they're not impressed by anything, damn it. You know, so I like how it kind of reflects that a little bit.
Yeah.
And here we do. We got Ron and Hermione now wearing their, you know, civilian garb, which will kind of be the look for the rest of the series. Hermione giving up the whole like I have big bushy hair. Oh, stop it. Now in the rest of the books, now didn't you tell me it was kind of implied that they kind of wore more of the robes and kind of which? Because even when you saw
not always, but
well, because when you saw people walking around in Diagon Alley, they all had kind of not, you know, I mean, everyone kind of, well, look at her mom, like or Ron's mom right there. She's kind of has a bit more bohemian, flamboyant. You know, look at his dad. I mean, it's not like crazy, but it's not like everyday clothes. You know what I mean? Well, I guess his kind of is. Whereas now you see them all wearing just kind of more normal clothes. And was that something that was done for the movies more, or was it kind of implied in the book?
What?
Wow, really?
Yep.
Just getting into the movie, aren't you? But I mean, like the clothing, like was
you already asked me this. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't remember. It's been a long time since I actually read.
God. You are supposed to be the authority here.
I am not a Potterhead, guys.
This is going to be really bad if I am going to become now the source of knowledge for Harry Potter. These commentaries, so I apologize. I love his wanted posters. Look how mannequin.
I know.
They still don't like his name being said. And again, I like how now in this movie too, and you know, obviously the book, we're learning more about kind of basically like Harry's parents' generation. Because again, I was interesting too that you know, before the gang as we know it here, you know, Ron, Harry, Hermione, there was another little crew that you know came the generation before. So it's kind of a lot of which had a very tragic ending, actually.
Because you're Harry Potter.
And that's the other thing too. It's Harry's starting to discover that he is potentially now a target, not just for the Dark Lord himself, but agents of him. Like it's not just you know, Voldemort's not here, so I'm safe. It's like, well, no, he's not here. But like most kind of nefarious characters in history, they have people who do a lot of their dirty work for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're kind of responsible for it. You know, they kind of give the order, but usually there was other people who got their hands dirty for these other people. You know what I mean? And I think now Harry's realizing that, okay, just because Voldemort might be gone, in a manner of speaking. Oh. I like how they're just, like, okay with that there. Okay, right here we're seeing we're going back to Hogwarts, but notice now the journey there, it's dark, it's dreary. Man. It's rainy. It's not bright and sunny and happy, and which I love this. To me, this is what I think of Harry Potter: dark, rain, dreary. Like, I've always been a fan of kind of this look to it. And I'm waiting to talk about who that is under the
Yeah.
blanket there because he's a pretty reputable actor and one I've been familiar with for a number of years. Good actor, too. We're going to start getting our first look at the Dementors, which I really like. I like their whole concept, how they are, what they do, what they
Yeah.
represent, and it kind of adds to the kind of this dark mystique of Azkaban too. Like if these guys are the guards, it's like holy shit, that is a rough prison. And again, I always like when the scary thing is heralded by like something. There's something about their presence that is seen before you see them. Kind of like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park when you see the water
Yeah.
ripple. Before you even see the T-Rex, you just get, there we go. And everything goes quiet and still. I like it. The first thing you see is more of like the silhouette. Mm-hmm. Again, they're very creepy. They use a lot of atmosphere.
Hey guys, would you like anything from the trolley?
Man, Hogwarts has changed. Jeez.
I was gonna say that's what I was trying to see. Like, this is the first time we actually see Crookshanks, Hermione's
No.
cat.
Is it?
Yeah, but like, I'm pretty sure you see him in the books in the first two.
He's mentioned in the first movie.
Yeah, but you never actually see him.
I like this shot here, though. You're kind of getting a sense of what they do.
Yeah.
And here we have coming to save the day.
Hello.
There we go. David Thewlis right here. I first saw him in like 96, I think it was, 95, 98, in Dragonheart. My first introduction, then I saw him again in The Island of Dr.
That cat.
Moreau.
Cat's not nearly big enough though.
And I'm a stranger, so it's fine.
Well, he is on the Hogwarts train, so I mean, I
Yes.
guess the Dementors were too, but
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, I ain't taking nothing from nobody. No. But again, I like that, because of the nature of what they are, the Dementors, it's kind of a big deal if they're let loose because they're kind of dangerous unto themselves. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're not, because they're not just like normal people guards. They are these more like these weird beings, if you will, who seem a little indiscriminate. So you kind of have to put them on a path or like give them a directive. But if you kind of get in their way or kind of just kind of have them focus on you too long, they're going to kind of, I don't know, stray from the mission objective, so to speak.
yeah.
But no, this is yeah, when I saw all this for the first time, I was kind of like, oh man, there's Harry Potter. But I guess
Yeah.
I kind of get it now because I was like, this is pretty cool.
And I love this because obviously you'll find out a few movies / books later what's pulling these carriages.
Yep, and I like how they did something different. Instead of going by boat ride,
Yeah.
and here's Warwick Davis again playing a different teacher, like
Yeah.
the music teacher I was talking about.
I
couldn't-
forgot he did this.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. It was the first movie we saw him playing this character. But you see, I like again how it's the approach to Hogwarts is very dark. I love how they're singing this song.
And they're magical toads.
Yeah, it's fun and it's cool but it's a little bit more, spooky-esque. And here we go, the recast of
Dumbledore.
yeah, obviously.
It's funny too that they chose to give him different hair and beard. You know, it's grayer, more natural looking.
Kind of like how he looked in the flashback. This is
Yeah.
Michael Gambon now playing him.
Hey, look! How come the? Oh yeah, Malfoy's got his like non-slick back hair now.
I guess it's still kind of blonde. I guess maybe it's always been blonde.
Towards the last few movies,
I
it gets,
guess,
like,
yeah, that's probably what I was
bleached
thinking because
blonde.
they were the more recent ones in my mind. So I was always assuming he had the Targaryen hair. Mm-hmm. But yeah, obviously Richard Harris unfortunately passed away. I think shortly after the filming of the second one. So it was announced pretty early on that it'd be a different actor playing Dumbledore. So it wasn't like right at the last second. It was like, no, we knew. But again, and I guess he's a friend of, he was a friend of Richard Harris. So that's one of the reasons why they asked him to take the role. So it was kind of like, okay, it'd be his friend kind of honoring his legacy. And he even said, though, that he was going to play the role differently than Richard did.
Yeah.
Despite there maybe being some hint of continuity difference because they're very different, their portrayal. But he even said that I don't want to do an impression of my friend playing the role because he felt that it'd be disingenuous because he owned that role the way he did and did a good job playing that role that way. That was his Dumbledore, and it was not his Dumbledore to kind of try to replicate. So he's like, okay, I'm going to play Dumbledore, but I'm going to play him the way I'll play him. So it's different, yes, and it is kind of jarring at first, especially because this is the first time I watched Harry Potter movies. Was this movie? So this is my Dumbledore, I guess.
Yeah.
But I understand. I knew a few people who didn't like it at first. They're like, this isn't Dumbledore. That's not the way Dumbledore is supposed to be. And I guess I get it because again, it is very jarring. It's very different. But I think when you realize that it is better this way.
Yeah.
And he does a great job with it, and I like it. I like how he's more spry. He's more kind of, I think mentally, not the other one was like senile, but I think the other was kind of more kind of high and mighty, kind of, was more of the overseer a little bit because he's been around for so long, did it all. And I feel this Dumbledore is more on the ground. He's more, okay, I'll get my hands dirty a little bit more.
Jesus.
Oh,
You see the knight in the background?
yeah.
The baby.
I love that.
But she's a different fat lady than the last movie, too.
Hey, there's a lot of recasting going on.
Unless it was supposed to be a different painting. I don't know why.
I don't know. Let's say swap out. Again, I like how you see them having more downtime, more hangout.
Yeah.
This movie really does feel more like, okay, this is their year at school. This is,
Yeah.
I mean, there's something. Well, I think also too is like this. It's different in this film. Ron would be the lion. See, I love how they're just being guys and hanging out now.
Yeah.
It feels more like, and by this point too, Harry is kind of fully immersed in the wizarding world. So I like how now you see it. It's less about like, look at that,
Yeah.
look at that. This ain't Joe Chris Columbus Harry Potter no more. But I like that. I love that shot, like that old timey movie, kind of like.
Poor bird.
And again, now Hogwarts, everything's gray. Everything's gray. Look at those gray skies. Ooh.
Yeah. Even though I'm like, the Whomping Willow's in a completely different area now. Does nobody notice this? I love this.
Yeah, and again, you're seeing more of the classes to all the different ones. I get it. She's talking about sight, but she tripped. That's funny. We have Emma Thompson. I love Emma Thompson. Like, she's one of those actresses where she can kind of play anything.
Sorry.
You just keep getting locked into this movie.
I love this movie. So.
I can tell. You're just like watching it legit and forcing me to do all the heavy lifting here. That's fine. Whatever. I got this.
I love Professor Trelawney.
I know, but again, I like how.
No, what's she tucking in her
I
shirt
know,
bag?
a little something. Again, I like how right on beginning, this is kind of layering in a plot element that's going to be, or a plot device, I
Crucial.
should say. Huh?
That's crucial.
Yeah. Look at Hermione's face. Oh, what? What? God, she needs to use some conditioner on that hair.
I know.
But no, again, I like how you're seeing more of like, all right, because Harry is now more familiar and more immersed in the wizarding world, we as the audience are now with him, so we can focus less on the spectacle, more about like, okay, what an average day in the life of is.
Yeah.
The Grim. He's like, of course I do. Yeah, really? Naturally. Me, Harry Potter.
Harry fucking Potter. Of course I do.
Yeah, again, yeah, okay, naturally. The darkest, fucking, most horrible shit possible, right? And I got it. Oh, big surprise. Me, Harry Potter.
How did Ron think that was a wonky cross, by the way, or the sun?
It's Ron.
I love this set though.
Well, again, that's
again, technically it's like it didn't look like this before, but
but again,
better.
it gives it more of a. It gives Hogwarts more of a tactile feel because Hogwarts the wide shots on the outside, with the exception of a few of the night ones, it always kind of had a very kind of effects look to it. Where now Hogwarts in this movie is the first one where it really feels like a real place.
And Hagrid's hut is suddenly on a hill instead of flat.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I never noticed that
same
actually.
Same with the Whomping Willow, like, and I mean it's still on the edge of the forest.
But you're right. Like Hagrid's place is like you're right. The look I never thought about that.
Yeah, and the Whomping Willow's in a.
But yeah, it's right by the slope too, so you can't even be like,
yeah, that's what
it was in a field before.
Yeah.
But I do know, they shot it in a different location. They were shooting it mostly at that castle before in the first two films. And this one, they went to different areas for it. But I'm kind of surprised they didn't redo like a special edition of the books and kind of do like this kind of cover.
Yeah.
Poor
Neville's
Neville.
already
Like
puberty's
7
doing good.
feet tall now.
I know.
Neville becomes like a big guy later on.
Yeah.
Ron too. Ron gets kind of broad shouldered later on. I'm like, damn. Even Malfoy here, he's
Everyone's so much taller.
I know, Harry's like the only one who didn't grow up.
Poor Harry.
But you see, like Malfoy now, he's kind of a little bit more smooth now with his career. He's less like, "Great Harry Potter, do you like that? Did you Potter?" He's more a little bit more like he's a teenager now.
I see. That's the other reason I love this book so much is I love Hagrid's classes and them doing all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, again,
and Buckbeak.
Again, this is the only story where, later on, but initially, it's less of like a Nancy Drew mystery, like, the Chamber of Secrets, or like, the Sorcerer's Stone, or the Philosopher's Stone. It's more like, there's an escaped murderer on the loose. The nature of what's happening in the story is less enchanting and magical.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, I know, right? And also, then later on, Harry's motivation to want to find Sirius Black is also less, like adventure-based and more like, ooh, Again, that's why this movie feels a lot more tangible, I guess.
Oh, Hagrid.
Yeah, I know.
I like how, Ron and Harry are both wearing their ties all wonky, by the way.
Because Harry and Ron don't give a fuck.
I know. The CG is so much better now.
Again, it's a few years later now. They're perfecting it. And usually these big movies are kind of push CGI forward.
Yeah.
Because, again, there's so much money to be had with these movies that they really want to, push the technology. I like this right here. So a hippogriff is basically the reverse of a griffin, right? Like,
Yeah, it's a real thing though.
yeah, I know it's a
It's
real
just not as
creature
known,
mythology.
but
Like the griffin is what, like a well, it still
griffin
has
is
a bird's head, but isn't it like the front of the body
is like a lion or
is like a
something.
lion, yeah? Or is it like no? I think it's like a bird's head and wings on a lion's body.
Yeah, it's I think something like that.
Where this is more like the body of a horse kind of
Yeah.
thing. Oh, little
Sexual tension.
I know, a little sign of things to come.
It's like, oh, thank God you didn't get mauled.
And again, I like how they're also presenting magical animals now, not just like weird monstery creatures like the troll. It just feels like, yeah, I mean, it behaves like an animal. You know what I mean? So
Hagrid. He means well, but realistically, this is a terrible idea.
but here's my question: what would be so bad if, like, the non-magical world knew about hippogriffs? Like,
I know.
when you get past the fact that
Now, let's
the way
be
it
real.
looks, it's like okay, it's just
Knowing people, they'd probably hunt him till
well,
extinction.
I guess, but it's like, but it behaves like a normal animal. Whereas again, like the troll, what I was saying, it's like it's kind of a sentient kind of
Yeah, that's-
humanoid creature. I mean, it can fashion tools, it can fashion some degree of clothing. Whereas, okay, that might be more of a shock. Whereas this is essentially just an animal.
yeah.
Again, same thing with even dragons. It's like, okay, yeah, they're big and scary, but we have like, rockets and stuff that worst comes to worst. If a dragon attacked, Muggles could.
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things with Harry Potter I noticed too, like technology wise, we kind of can match the magical world. We do it with technology to use magic, but I kind of think too that's one of the kind of what's implied why the magical world likes to remain separate. It's because I love this
King
bit
of the
right here.
world.
This is your Atreyu Falcor moment.
Kind of right.
Falcor, it's wonderful. Even that was Sebastian who said that. You know, someone put that on the YouTube somewhere where they just
Oh,
put
yeah.
in the Neverending Story music. That would be a lot of fun, though.
Oh yeah.
You see Bucky just kind of quickly flip over real fast and drop Harry. Like, oh, shit. Yeah, no, the effects are, I mean, while, yes, you can still see they're a little bit dated, they're done really well in this film. I mean, the movement, all that,
Yeah.
it feels very organic. And once again, Draco, his motivation to want to do something is not because he wants to do it, but because Harry did it.
Yep.
And he wants to show the world that Harry's not special. If he can do it, it means anyone can.
You dummy.
Ow.
Malfoy's such a little bitch.
I know. Like that.
He's such a
I
little
know.
bitch. I love it.
And I feel bad because then it's a problem because, of course, it's the animal that always has to be,
Yeah. And it's Malfoy. He's a little bitch.
But at the same time, couldn't this also be looked as like a learning? So it's like, okay, why is Hagrid teaching you this course? It's because to
Yeah.
show you I love that, the proper way to approach these animals so you can remain safe. And what did Malfoy do? He did what he was not supposed to, and what happened? Exactly what Hagrid said would happen if you don't, display the proper behavior. So it's almost like it's really not the animal's fault because if literally he hadn't done exactly what he did, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things. It's a school.
Because it's Malfoy. If it was anyone else, that's the thing. I'm like,
Oh yeah, his
look-
dad could probably just.
Yeah.
But again, that feels very realistic, like a school. Like you have the rich parents coming down, making you know what I mean? That's kind of what I mean. It's like it feels very tangible.
Shut up, Seamus.
God, those. You grab by that, jeez. This must have been so fun for Gary Oldman
I
to shoot.
know.
Or maybe not. Maybe he hated this. And I like how you see whenever the Dementors get too close to something. Again, I just love how gloom and doom this movie is.
I know. They actually get a competent dark arts teacher.
Well, I was
this
gonna say
year.
it's like the revolving door of like teachers in the schools of defense against the dark arts. It's all Snape ever wanted.
I know.
I love this idea too of a
I
creature
know.
that we've never actually seen what it looks like, because the second you lay eyes on it, it becomes
Yeah.
whatever it is you're afraid of. I thought that's really interesting. Although it does something that I think in the book was different when he looks at it, right?
I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about it when
I was gonna
when
say,
the
I
scene
think I know
happens.
what you're talking about, but
Yeah, because I remember reading in the book and it was something a little bit different. I cannot remember what. I think visually they chose what they did in the movie because visually it was a more clear use of imagery.
I love Neville's.
I know. Like I kind of because again they all would have been the same age. They all would have gone to school. I kind of
Well,
love
he
it.
actually has history with Snape, so
Exactly, and I love that, and I love it's like the previous generation kind of coming back. And again, because we got a good teacher for this class now, we actually get to really see, how it's taught and like,
how they learn.
yeah,
for realsies.
exactly. Again, I love this movie because you're seeing. I mean, there's a whole thing with Sirius Black, yes, but before we get to that, really, we're seeing them at school and how they
Yeah.
learn. Like, we're actually seeing, like, okay, Hogwarts functioning normally.
That must have been so fun to shoot.
I know that hat.
I know.
Even though that's just this poor creature they're probably torturing now. This poor thing is like, what are you people doing to me?
I love how he puts on music too.
I know.
They do like the whole montage.
But again, I like the way this montage is done. Ooh.
I'm surprised they didn't use Aragog for this. Is that something he
fair-
actually saw that he knows exists somewhere?
Well, to be fair, this is scarier looking than Aragon.
I don't know.
I don't know. Giant black. Again, this poor creature, it's like,
I know.
it's not actually trying to hurt them. It's just trying to scare
That's
them.
what
They're
it
like,
does.
yeah, but they're like humiliating, torturing it.
Harry's like, yeah, try Basilisk. I slayed one.
Yeah.
That's way
That's
more
even
terrifying.
scarier. I'm sorry. I'll
Like,
take the
what the
giant
fuck?
snake, thank you. Look at that.
Yeah, that's
Hello.
horrifying. God.
Look at that. That is the scariest thing yet.
Yeah, it really is.
And right here, yeah, this whole thing. It turns into a full moon, which is like,
That's
What
what
do you-
happened in the book, though, isn't it?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
but-
I remember because they just said it was like a weird pale orb, and they didn't know what it was at first.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was.
But now
it,
you
it,
can
it was
actually see
See,
it
it's
was
a
the
full moon because yeah, in the book it was described as the orb. Which, if you just see that floating small on its own, it might not be super clear what that is.
Yeah.
But I think for the purposes of the movie,
Yeah.
they wanted to make it more obvious, so they
Yeah.
added the cloud effect around it, which I guess counts. And I'm like, yeah, but he's afraid of the moon, not clouds. So why are the clouds there? Shouldn't the clouds be kind of partially covering the moon, which means it's safe? I don't know.
I love this courtyard, by the way.
I know. Well, again, look at the set dressing and all this.
I know.
Which is kind of the problem with him.
Yeah. Marge blew up before he had a chance.
Yeah, the Dudleys and all that. I'm wondering though, can he be legally
Eventually.
on his own? I mean, I guess after he becomes of age. But wait a minute, in England, it's 16 years old. That's the age you're legal in 16, right? Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
so.
No, it is. That's why, like I've seen when we watched there was that show on the BBC where it was like the guy who they found out, he had slept with like a former student, and he was like, yeah, she was 15, she was going to turn 16 next month. And then they did an American version of the show, and the same thing happened, but except now he's like, yeah, she was 17, going to turn 18, like, that kind of thing. So,
By the way, I like how he thought it was going to take the shape of Voldemort, but I'm like, you guys don't really know what he looks like. Just the weird floating face you saw.
well, that's what I guess that could have happened.
I guess, yeah.
But I guess the Dementor is fresher in his mind, too. Like, he just saw that, and that's, dare I say, scarier than, weird backwards face Voldemort that we saw. Bad CGI backwards face Voldemort. I love how it's raining there too. Again, I find these kind of dark, kind of gothic-esque look and sets and settings I find them so beautiful. That's why, and I mean like real goth too, not like, hey,
yeah,
I'm gonna put a pound of black eyeliner on my face and just have like shredded fishnets all over my body. No, I mean like legit goth. And again, there's something just so beautiful, kind of old about the architecture, but that still kind of, I think, it persists well in the modern era. So I don't know. I would look at this scene, the framing of it, the lighting of it, and I would call this goth. And I think it's a good example of what kind of goth looks like in kind of a modern context.
Well, again, it's more or less just the mood.
Yeah,
that it kind of.
And I think that's also what goth is too. It's kind of a mood. It's not really because look at these people.
I mean,
they're
if
not
you
all...
want to get into like legit architecture, obviously you could. But...
And that's honestly what gothic is. It's when you get past, it's not people like who used to shop at that one store in the mall that wears all black. It's like no, goth is like it's an artistic movement. You know, you can be gothic and smile. It's like everyone was smiling in that scene. Still gothic. I don't know. I've always loved this kind of English aesthetic architecture. I don't know. I like that the Harry Potter franchise early on moved into this direction. Captain Sensitivity. I wish you could have seen the other common rooms for the other houses. We only ever see Gryffindor or Slytherin, and I think we only see Slytherin in Chamber of Secrets. That was it. I never noticed the big giraffe walking in the background, by the way.
In the books, you see him, obviously.
Obviously.
Kitty cat doesn't have the red eyes anymore, though.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I imagine that was always a digital effect they did.
Yeah.
Unless they literally found the coolest cat ever.
Look at his nails.
See, again, right here, I like how look at Dumbledore. Mm-hmm. He's very like looking around, concerned. Whereas Phil, Richard Harris Dumbledore would have kind of just been like,
he was kind of like all knowing.
He'd be like, calm down.
Yeah.
I got this. Everyone, shut up. Go back to your rooms. Whereas this Dumbledore, right away, he's more commanding. Again, I'm not saying one Dumbledore is better than the other. I don't want people to think like I'm shit talking now, the first two. Not at all, but I'm just pointing out like the unique differences that make them kind of Again, he kind of acts the way I picture the other Dumbledore acting maybe like 50, 60 years ago. You know what I mean? When he was a little bit younger. He was still old and wide, but he was a little bit more spry, a little bit more energetic.
Yeah.
But again, it's it works. It does, and I don't mind. And
Well,
this.
in a way, I mean, not that the other Dumbledore I disliked, but I prefer this one.
Well, yeah, and again, part of it, who's that's the thing. We only had that Dumbledore for 2 movies.
Yeah.
If we had maybe gone for like 4 or 5, and
Yeah.
then it might be different because we would have kind of adhered to ourselves. But I know there was a lot of naysaying when this one came out. But then after a while, everyone likes him because again,
Yeah.
you spend more time with him, and also kind of from this movie on, especially, Dumbledore is more in the movies.
Yeah.
Like the other one, Dumbledore was kind of more just the wise, kind of sage overseer, kind of show up every once in a while, bestow upon Harry some, profound word of advice, and then kind of fade away. This now, from this point on,
By the way, I love how these guys just talk in front of all of the students.
I was always wondering about that. Like, oh, you guys are really shitty about keeping secrets.
And you're loud. You're not even whispering.
I know. It was like that, the last film when like Harry was in the infirmary and they're just yapping away. Again, it's artistic license for the sake of the movie, but I love the roof.
I know.
This is a great shot right here.
So yeah, I guess my reason I like this Dumbledore better is besides like he said he's more energetic and stuff. It's like the thing with Dumbledore is he was always, he's like an old man, but he's so childlike on the inside, kind of. You know what I mean? Like,
and you definitely saw
not
him
childlike, like immature, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I know what you definitely saw hints of that in the other one too. Like when he was talking about like the candies and the things like that. It was more about some of the things he would say.
Yeah,
I love that. To kind of like imply like he's one. Whereas this one kind of it's more in his overall behavior. And again, it's just a different approach to the character. One's not wrong or right; they're just different approach. And again, because the first guy did it the one way, the next guy was like, all right, I'm going to do it the other way then.
I like how this is the room they used last year for Gilder Lockhart for the dark arts.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it's the same room.
Yeah.
I forgot that he took over the class for
Yeah,
this.
yeah. That's why it's the dark arts room. Yeah. Some Harry Potter fan you're turning out to be. Shut up! This is much cooler. And I love how he's doing this more as like a
Fuck you.
fuck yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah. So when he comes back, like, hey, what'd you guys learn when Snape was here? Werewolves? What? Okay, yeah. So I like how they explain right away. I love that how they did that. Mm-hmm. But I love how they explain. Yeah, like it's like a legit curse. You know what I mean? It's an affliction. I love that shot. But it's also one of those. Even though, yeah, I think the first case of lycanthropy goes from Greek mythology. But yeah, that's my thing. So that's I was always kind of curious. Like, okay, so like an animagus is still who they are when they turn into the animal. Was right. Even when you turn into the werewolf, you're no longer you. I'm sorry. This is like the coolest class ever. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Like he has his he always leans in very close and slowly, and then pulls away real fast. You know?
Mm-hmm.
No, Draco.
Eyebrow lift.
Don't you ever tire of failing all the time? Except I always win.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And again, we see the Quidditch match in the rain, and the thunder and the lightning. I love it. I love it. Fuck you, blue skies. You have no place here. Look at this. This is awesome.
Fucking face paint.
And now look how intense and like dramatic it is. Jesus. That's my point. Look at it now. People are catching on fire and shit. Like, this is badass.
Yeah, let's go up into the thunderclouds. No big.
No biggie.
And I like that they're not playing Slytherin again, because that'd be too cliche. Sucks for him.
That square jaw Harry's getting.
I know.
That's cool.
I know.
I like that a lot. That is a great shot. That's fine. I know Alfonso is actually friends with Guillermo del Toro. So this is basically the closest we would have gotten to see what a Guillermo del Toro,
Yeah.
a Harry Potter movie look. But right away, I like how there's more of an emphasis on gothic, and it's darker, and they kind of revel more in the darkness of it. They don't shy away from it. They're letting
She's like, Harry, where the fuck are you going? Like, does the snitch really go this far away? He completely left it.
I know, it's like, where is he in relation to the field now?
It's way, way back there.
Isn't this out of bounds at this point?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, I feel like there would be some sort of boundary for it.
And see, that's what I'm saying. I like how, even though they're there to do a job, if you get too close to them, it's almost like gravity. If you get too, it pulls you in.
I guess he just was really high up, but it looked like he was going out too.
I still think though, there's got to be a limit to how high you can go.
It sounds so bad, but I think the reason I love this Dumbledore is he reminds me a lot of Gandalf, and I love Gandalf.
Yeah. When they said that the actors, sometimes one will get asked to be I think they said, right good scare.
Oh, yeah. And his fucking broom got fucked.
Oh, yeah. But he gets a new one later on. It's fine.
I know.
Harry always bounces back. I want to see what Dumbledore being furious looks like.
I know, me too.
But yeah, I know Michael Gambon and Ian McKellen have said that they've been mistaken for each other. So sometimes Michael Gambon has been mistaken for Gandalf and vice versa. And they say, yeah, we just sign it as Gandalf, or so we sign for each other when it's like that.
Yeah,
they don't even correct the people. Yeah, whatever, I'll sign as Ian McKellen. And Ian McKellen's like, yeah, I'll sign as Michael Gambon, whatever. We're both kind of the same. They're like... Yeah, but you still give a job. Which is what makes him fantastic and really cruel guards for a place where it just reduces you to your worst. Like that, if you really think about that.
That actually has more harm than good. But...
Yeah. There was a guy who was kind of, I guess from what I understand, falsely imprisoned in Guantanamo Bay. And he was reading the Harry Potter books, and he talked about when he read this one, this was his favorite one.
Yeah.
Because he when he was reading Azkaban, what it was like, and he talked about the Dementors, and he was like, it's kind of like what I feel like. He was saying it's like everything that was good in my life is being reduced and stripped away, and I'm being left with just the negativity in my life. And he goes, I love that book because that book hit home with me so hard.
Yeah.
And that's the guy who was in one of the worst prisons in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I love how they did this transition.
I know.
And that goes to show you, it's Harry Potter, it's a fantastical version of the real world. So you have this guy who's basically in the real world equivalent of Azkaban. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Relating to Sirius Black, no less. A guy falsely in prison, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
He also was listening to a lot of Whitesnake, which is a whole other can of worms that I won't get into. Mm-hmm. I love how giant these guys are now. They're just... I almost kind of want to see a series of movies based on them. Because they get into so much shit.
Oh, yeah. I like how they know about the cloak.
Aww. This is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like a little bit like a video game when you get like a new item that
Yeah.
helps you out, like reuse the map. This is really effective though,
Oh yeah.
and it also lends itself to something creepy coming up for a character that's supposed to be dead that you don't find out about. I think till like what, the next movie
Yeah.
and the next book, but the way they show it here. First year. Oh, this would have been helpful.
I know.
Like, since first year.
I just wonder how they found that out. How to activate it and stuff.
I'm wondering too. Like maybe they read about it.
I don't know.
I get the feeling they spend a lot of their time researching and looking for like the way Harry and the gang try to solve these mysteries of like what's the Chamber of Secrets
Yeah.
and
They're just
what's the
up to no good.
Philosopher's Stone. They're just looking for like things and to like just cause trouble with. That's what I love about them.
I know.
They're like, let's say, hey, there's this rumors and legend of a map that lets you see this. Think how much crap we can get into with that.
Oh,
Oh
honeydews.
boy. And I love how now you're seeing like the surrounding community too. That's part of the wizarding world,
Yeah.
not like because again, for people who are born of witches and wizards, it's like this is their everyday. To them, this is the normal world. We're so used to seeing kind of Harry's world where he's not at Hogwarts. I like we're seeing more of a, their world.
Oh, I was hoping you wanted to snuggle.
Again, I love how it's Hermione kind of making the first moves
I know.
because Ron is just being a little bitch. I love this. Boom! God, Harry's
in the butt.
becoming like a Deus Ex Machina with all his items.
I know.
He's got the cloak that can hide him. He's got the map that can show where anyone and everyone is. He's like, geez.
But again, it's one of those things where think about it. If all these people around weren't helping him out, he wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Oh, I
basically.
know. Well, that's what I like about Harry, that he's not like this.
Well, so, yeah, that's what we were saying before.
He's not like a Superman character where he's just perfect at everything. He picks things up quickly. That's his gift. He learns fast. But even when he learns, he's not necessarily the best at it, and that's what I like. He's a normal guy. If it wasn't for what happened to him when he was a baby, that's the only thing that kind of makes him unique and different. Otherwise, he's a normal guy. He's not Last Son of Krypton special. He's just hey, the guy who killed everyone failed to kill me. He's the boy who lived. That's what makes him special. It's about what didn't happen to him, basically. God, I love how just massive Hagrid is.
I know.
I know it's probably implying he's like a big gut and stuff in there. Well, how funny would it be if he takes off that coat and he's just rippling muscle, just this big hulked out guy. Even though Hagrid looks like he could just, rip someone in half if he wanted to. Harry Potter!
Yell a little louder, lady. Yeah, Harry, you can't really sneak around in the snow.
I know. Well, again, yeah, it's kind of. It's funny. Also, we were saying, by the way, this is not an extended cut. There is no extended cut of this movie, and I see why. Because even this movie is like 2.5 hours. So we always joke about like how the Lord of the Rings movie, these insanely long movies, and I'm like, what about the Harry Potter movies? Holy crap!
Yeah.
These movies are not like a light sprint through cinema. These are hefty movies.
Nobody, why would you not question why that door was...
Especially in the wizarding world where people
Yeah.
can do things like this. It's not like the wind blew it open. Again, I love the effect of the blanket or whatever around him. Like, I know I love how people always kind of like, what's that? Okay, but again, it's one of those things too where it's. I love how recanting kind of like the tales of like the first generation.
Yeah.
And poor Harry, like, and I
I
kind of
know.
feel out of everything he's been through, this is the worst because it has nothing. It's not manifest destiny. It's oh yeah, it's
And I
it's
guess they
it's
just
a
didn't.
personal thing really now. It's like wow,
Yeah.
this isn't Lord Voldemort. This isn't the Dark Lord being the big douche that he's supposed to be. You know what I mean? This was a guy that was there. He's even gonna say I know he's gonna say later on that he was their friend.
Yeah.
Of course, Voldemort did what he did. He's an asshole. That's what he
Yeah.
does. Was anyone surprised? But this guy, it was like a legit betrayal, and that's why for Harry it feels so personal. And I think that's why for him this hurts more because this was supposed to be somebody he realized. That'd be like if like Ron and or Hermione did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's the last person who's supposed to do that to you. It's the person who's supposed to have your back, and they're the one that buried the knife in it. And that's why for him, I think this stings more than anything he's felt before because it's not supposed to be this way. And again, that's why I like this story a lot too, because it felt, there is a larger problem going on, yes, but sometimes the way you can connect with it, yeah, better is when there's a more personal touch to the
Yeah.
pain. Again, Voldemort killed a lot of people. He did a lot of bad things to a lot of people. But what Sirius Black did, yeah, and see, there you go. Now we start our Nancy Drew part of the story where they're going off to find it. But right there, it's the motivation why. It's not
Yeah.
to figure it out or unsolve the mystery or find out what's going on. It's, I want revenge.
Yeah.
It's a very real world motivation. It's something we can all relate to. Like if your parents died horribly and you found out that, hey, this guy that lives, in the next town over is the reason why. Wouldn't you want a revenge? Wouldn't you want to just
Yeah.
go over there, just grab a gun, and just as soon as he opens the door, just blow his head off? You can relate to that sentiment, and that's why I like this movie right here. Harry, it's not Harry Potter, the boy who lived.
This is Dumbledore's old office.
Well, I think you're right. Unless they just kind of repurposed the set. But yeah, no,
Those
that's what I'm
vertebrae
saying.
candles,
It's
by the way,
huh?
the like spine vertebrae.
That's bad.
candles.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Kind of the gothic nature of it. It's little touches like that I don't think you would have seen in the first two films.
Yeah.
It gets a little too morbid, but in this film, it feels like we'll do that. And I love the lighting here too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's again, it's a motivation that we can all relate to. It's like somebody did something bad to someone I care about. I want revenge. And it's got nothing to do with magic or manifest destiny.
Yeah.
I just love the way. But again, look at the use of deep shadow in this movie too. Again, Alfonso, being the kind of director that he is, really utilizing a lot of subtle things to create a sense of mood.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you had to look at one of those things, what would you see?
It would be like a horrible like combination of like a spider and a cockroach, probably, but like giant.
Yeah, well, naturally.
Yeah.
It don't need to be giant with you. You could just have a spider or a cockroach, and it could be like the tiniest thing in the world.
Listen.
But you would like act like you do whenever you see one.
Depends on the spider.
And when you wake me up in the middle of the night, you go, "Oh my God, there's a giant spider over there."
Hey, to be fair, some of those were like almost 2 inches. Okay.
No, none of them were there. I
Yes.
was looking at them and I couldn't even see them. Then you had to like bring your nail right down, like what that tiny
No.
little like pinprick in the wall. Oh, that's alive, huh?
What would you see?
I don't know. It's gonna sound really macho, but
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of anything. I'm afraid of things happening, but I'm not afraid of a specific thing. Like I don't have a phobia. Like I'm not afraid of spiders or I'm not afraid of the dark. I don't know. I'm not phobic about anything. So, I'm afraid of losing you. You're my wife. I love you.
So you'd see my mangled corpse.
I guess. Well, no. I guess it can show that because it showed the moon. I forgot it can show you more abstract. I guess. Yeah. So it's you or someone I care about dead, I guess, would be what I would be afraid of. Because again, I'm not afraid. I mean, this is scary, but I'm not like afraid of it. Like I'm afraid of it the way anyone would be afraid of. You saw
their mouths. The louder I yell, the more powerful I become.
Ooh. That's cool.
Mm.
I really love this set.
I know. I wish somebody would just give me chocolate all the time.
I know. I don't like a bad day here. Have chocolate. Just like, oh. Yeah, I'm trying to think if this is a whole set they built or just something they, repurposed.
Yeah.
But again, now that Harry Potter, by this point, is this super big franchise, I feel they can just build everything from scratch. And I think that's honestly why they went to different locations, because before they were using existing locations.
Yeah.
But now that it's made them so much money that they can just build a lot of these sets from scratch because they know they can spend the money and make it back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think stuff like this, I don't know, this could be a set. But see, look at all this stuff here. Look at them how they're wearing normal clothes. Even all the people in the background. Whereas before, they were always in their robes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking. Like, I feel like that was one of the... I think I even remember them talking about that when this movie was coming out. Because a lot of people were saying, like, oh, it's weird seeing them wearing, like, whatever clothes, that cat. And I think they even said the reason why they did that was to kind of give them more of a relatable feel to it. I know, look at that. Yep. Look how far it goes.
I know.
Just think one of those rocks hit you. And again, that just kind of shows you the influence like Lucius has. You know what I mean? Oh, love that lighting. Look at it. So good. So dark.
Calm down.
I know. I just love it, though. I love this kind of stuff. Like, it's... You tell the spiders run. Oh, I love how more confident Harry is in this movie too.
I know.
He's kind of like he's no longer the kind of this wide eye like he feels comfortable now.
Yeah.
And I think again him leaving the Dudleys and all that, like him choosing to leave, was kind of a big indication.
Did you say the Dudleys?
What are they?
The Dursleys.
The Dursleys. The Dudleys. But like choosing to leave them was a big kind of indication of who he's become. He is now more of a take charge person. He's now kind of taking charge of his own kind of life. You know what I mean? He no longer wants to be at the mercy of it. I mean, he still pretty much is at the mercy of people.
Yeah.
But he's no longer happy about it or content to just, that's just the way it is. No, he's very much now like, okay, I'm not happy with some shit, and I'm going to let people know I'm not happy with this shit. And even if I can't change it, I'm not going to,
I'm like, Harry, you see them by now, and wouldn't you be wondering why they're walking like a drunk?
Yeah, and they would see your light, too, by the way. Again, I love this. It's creepy. It's like, where are they? It reminds me of the scene in Aliens where they're looking at the tracker for the motion sensor and looking at the distance, and the aliens are like approaching them, and they're like, oh, they're like 20 feet away or whatever it was, and they're like, they can't be. That's in the room. And then they kind of look up at the ceiling and realize they're moving in the
Yeah.
but they were like, it there should be right in front of me, but they're not. Like, what the hell? I love that stuff. And ooh, hey, Snape. The hell are you doing wandering the corridors, Count Dracula? Jesus. Yeah, see? Look at him. Boom! Look. Again, that's my point. Harry is like, he's tired of just taking shit.
I know.
And I love how he's just over Snape. He's no longer afraid of Snape. He's not mystified by Snape. He's like, no. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what your shit was with my dad. I don't, like, oh, you can just do that, huh? Damn. Jesus, anyone sleep here?
I
Like,
know.
God, Hogwarts is a creepy place at night. Everyone's just like roaming
Hey,
the
if
shadows.
anyone would be roaming the shadows at night, it would be Lupin.
Yeah, but I'm just like, still, like, just. I'm a mischievous boy. That's why I'm out of bed. What the hell is your two excuse? You guys are old, so you should be sleeping. Look how Snape just hates it. It's like,
I know. You little bitches.
it's like,
Fucking paintings.
Snape, I
So,
know
like,
exactly
you're
how you
just
feel.
wandering literally in the dark. Like, how can you see?
That's my point. Is it maybe it looks creepy, but if you like demystify it and look at Hogwarts at night with like thermal vision goggles, you'd see a bunch of teachers roaming the bumping into walls, feeling around in the dark, just hoping to happen upon students out of bed. Yeah, again, and I like here how it's kind of like the weight of. I mean, yes, his parents did that, but it's almost like it almost kind of what gave Harry life. Also, is what kind of enslaves him too, because he can't even be a mischievous kid. You know what I mean? He can't even just break the rules for
That's
fun.
the thing. I'm like, isn't that the hint right there? If you do, I should know.
Yeah, right here, I like this. Yeah, so right here, I like how it's layering something in.
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of moments of stillness that I like here in this movie too. Again, it's just a well-made film. Nothing. By the way, I love how Hermione, Little Miss, I love all things magic, take all things seriously, does not like is it divination is what it's called?
Yeah.
Because to her, she feels like this is like, I love even in the wizarding world,
I know.
crystal balls is still cracked. Like I like how there's still some things that like they're parallels where it's like reading tea leaves and looking at reading your palm. And I love how wizards are like, well, no, magic is like basic science. There's rules to it. You do this, you mix this potion with that. This incantation leads to this kind of thing. To them, there's what kind of math to follow. Whereas like, look at my crystal ball. It's like, what the hell does that do? I love how even in damn.
I know.
I love how even in the wizarding world, they're still.
But I think it's because Hermione's not good at it. Like she just said, and that's why she doesn't like it or believe in it.
Yeah, but there's still like from what implies, like there's people who don't buy into it.
Well, yeah.
And I kind of like that there's still things. It's not like, oh, it's a magical world. Oh, everything is real now that you thought was. No, I like that there's still things that we are taught to believe are not real. That even in their world, well, yeah, but there's some things that just aren't real, or that we don't really know. I don't know. I just again I like that. It's a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
Then it begs the question: why are they teaching it?
Even
though I think it's more for that professor, though.
Well, and again, we'll find out why Dumbledore actually keeps her here in just a moment.
Yeah, I think that having this class is more or less humoring her. I know when I first saw that the first time, I was like, wait, what?
I know.
And he puts it down, you kind of see it, and I was like, what am I looking at? He's like, I gotta go. But I love how she actually has these powers.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even realize what they actually are.
Yeah.
Like her concept of her having these abilities is not what they actually are. And again, I like how it's not tea leaves, it's not crystal ball. That is all bullshit. And I like that. Her ability to kind of, see that she's like a seer.
Yeah.
No one can be taught to do that.
She's got like legit seer blood in her.
Well, that's my point, and I think that's why Dumbledore keeps her around, because she's like a warning system if need be. But yeah, no one can be taught to do what she can do.
Yeah.
And she's not even really aware of it. That's the irony.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
You got a big enough
This looks like
axe there, bro. You got a great axe there. You're gonna be the tank of your group.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell is he gonna freaking carry that?
Maybe he's super strong.
Yeah, maybe. It doesn't look like he's doing a lot of upper body day at the gym, though. I love this part.
Mm-hmm.
Get him, Hermione.
His face.
He's such a bitch. Look at him. Look at him. Oh.
Yeah.
Get him, girl. He runs, too. So Hogwarts in the background, we said that that's digital, right? That's not actually there. They didn't actually have it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm not sure, though. Again, especially now that they changed everything.
I know, the complete layout of
the grounds.
Oh.
That one almost looks practical there. Actually.
No, that was digital.
Was it?
But because it wasn't moving a lot.
I guess, yeah.
Low light, not a lot of movement. It's easy to kind of like render it to looks really good because again, it's not having to do a million things.
That thing.
I never noticed that thing.
How do you not? It's nasty.
Look, it was a hand puppet. Little Jim Henson action right there. And I love how we're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I watched it, I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
'Cause it's almost like there's no callback to it until the very end. Then you're like, oh.
Yep.
And again, I know this thing that we're saying, J.K. Rowling said she regrets putting it in. Even though it's used really well in this story, the problem is it's never used again.
I
And I'm
know.
kind of like, why don't you use that again?
They should have had it be destroyed.
Yeah, because it's the danger, the potential of it. Yeah, I mean, maybe they did like off camera or off book.
I love how Dumbledore knew, I'm sure, and that's why he distracted.
Yeah, well, and that's my point. This is all done really, really well. And I remember it was like the third time maybe I watched this movie, and I was like, wow, this kind of plot device is done probably best in this movie compared to any other movie I've seen. Mm-hmm. And by and large, the book as well. And I'm like, wow, that's...
Some big ass pumpkins.
I know. Here's the thing, they're going to cut its head off with that big axe. Don't they have like well, can't they do the Avada Kedavra on him?
Wow. No one's supposed to use that.
Well, it's kind of like murder is illegal. Like, you can own a gun and go to a shooting range, but you can't just go to outside, take your gun, and shoot someone in the head. It's more or less the use of the spell, not... I mean, I think just rendering something instantly dead, no pain, no nothing, is a lot more
I know.
considerate than, like, chopping its head off with a fucking axe. Because they even said, too, like, a head will live for, like, 5 seconds after it's been decapitated. So Buckbeak will know what's happened to him for 5 seconds, that his head has been removed. Not to mention, he'll probably feel it a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Not to mention, that's a thick neck, and that's a not-so-big guy, which something tells me he's not going to get the whole thing off the first swing. So I'm just saying, if you could just say 2 words and suddenly Buckbeak is no more, I think that is way more humane than just start hacking away at him with a fucking axe.
It's a badass axe, though.
Yeah, with that axe, too.
Oh. Harry's like, can I get some hugs, please?
It'd be fun if Ron kind of
too.
shrugs him off. Like, get over here, Harry. Oh.
Fucking
Scabbers.
I know.
I can't wait till we can start openly hating that damn rat.
Dummy.
Look at that darkness. Look at that mist. Look at that mist rolling in off the...
But again, I'm like, it's just... They put the tree here, but before it was literally in the grounds, remember?
Well, it's magic. They can move it, I'm sure. So this is a dog, not a wolf, correct?
I
think it's supposed to be a dog.
I
Yeah,
think it's
a
supposed
dog.
to be a dog.
Because the Grims are usually these big black dogs, right?
Yeah.
I look, you can see the eyes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would hurt.
That would break some ribs right there.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest asshole in this whole movie. Damn tree.
I know.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's funny they chose to do it all digitally, whereas before they had it mostly
Well, again, I think bigger... Oh, God.
Yeah.
Bigger budget. Good girl. Get her. Oh.
Oh, yep. Ouch.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I look at they kind of shoot it from the POV of the tree, too, a little bit.
My glasses. That shot.
And instead of using like a digital model, I like how they actually filmed the actors.
Yeah.
And then composited them into the shot.
God, she would get so fucked up.
They started doing that towards the end. I've noticed like in the mid 2000s, they went away from doing digital models because it just looked too fake. I love that shot. Good shot, Hermione.
I know. And then she somehow got in.
Is that supposed to be blood on the ground?
I think it's supposed to be dust that's been...
Oh, that's, yeah, okay. It's been dragged. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all dusty. This feels a little Tim Burton right here. Kind of the kind of the wonky, kind of like skewed architecture. The Animagus. Yeah. See, again, I would love to be an Animagus. Mm-hmm. I love this.
Still in his prisoner outfit.
God, he looks crazy.
I know. And it's so funny because he looks so different in the next movie.
I know. He looks so suave later on.
Yeah. All those fucking tattoos.
Damn, Harry's just like owning him.
His teeth.
And I love, again, if you haven't read the book, like I hadn't at the time, I was like, oh shit, they're in on it together. No! Again, this is supposed to be like, no, betrayal. I was so bummed.
I know.
Because I liked his character so much. So I was like, shit, he was an asshole the whole time? Damn it! And I love how everyone thinks they're talking about Harry. Let's get Harry. That's like, nope, they're after somebody else. Yeah. I love Gary Oldman. God, he's probably one of the best
so intense
actors of our generation. And I don't say that lightly either. Like, he is, oh my God. Ever since I saw him in Leon, like, oh my God, I was like, this guy. And it's so funny because everyone always talked about like Hans Gruber as being like kind of the most nefarious villains. I always thought, oh shit, what's his name? I always forget his name from Leon. I talk about how much I love him.
Jean Reno.
And no, Jean Reno's character, Gary Oldman's character in Leon.
Oh. Look who it is.
Norman Stansfield, that was his movie. And I always thought, it was so funny because...
By the way, I love how the shack is shifting.
I know, and I always like, it's basically you have Stansfield and Gruber in the same movie together. You know what I mean? God, and I love how this is like this whole generation before, and you can tell just that there's history here. Like, you know, before Harry and the gang, it was all these guys. And you can tell that, like, for Snape, he's just been like dying for this, like this moment, just like, oh God, I'm just gonna savor every drop of it. Ooh, damn.
Yep.
And I love how different he is in all the other movies too. His character. He does make a good point though. He does Rick Scabbard has been alive for a long time.
Yeah.
So does that mean he's a
Animagus
too? So yeah. But again, he can only pick one animal, right?
Yeah.
I guess you could argue picking a small animal like that would be helpful for like getting at.
Yeah. God, he's so nasty looking.
And I love how they gave him some of the he retains a little bit of the features.
Because he's been that way for so long.
Yeah. I kind of wish that was maybe a trait of all animagus.
Yeah.
Like maybe they all kind of like retain a little bit of it. Not to be like anthro or anything like that, but just kind of be like,
By
maybe.
the way, I like how Snape's just passed the fuck out back
Well,
there.
Snape passed the fuck out. Snape got knocked the fuck out. Did you see that? But I don't think it'd be kind of cool if maybe if like Lucius kind of had a, not Lucius, Severus. No, not Severus. Gary Oldman there, like if maybe his tips of his ears were a little bit more pointed.
Yeah.
Maybe his canines just had a hint of sharpness, or his eyes were a little bit like yellow. You know what I mean? Just it'd be cool if there's something like you retain something of the animal you turn into. But it's also like it's not mercy, but I think it's like he's proof. Well, that's the thing too. Geralt should want him alive too, because it's like he's the only proof you have that you didn't do what you were accused of. You kill him, it's like they're just gonna see, oh look, there's crap. What's his name?
Whose name?
Gary Oldman's character.
In The Professional?
No, here.
Oh, Lupin?
Yes. No, Lupin, not.
Oh, Gary Oldman. Oh, Sirius.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're just all getting it wrong. But it's gotta be weird for Harry now because well, not only did he find out his guy's not the bad guy, but he's got family now.
Godfather.
I know he's got somebody that his parents left, essentially to be in his care, in his charge. Ron just eating it up. Oh, look at that! I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And Hogwarts at night, man. It's my favorite. Yeah, no, again, this whole movie, it's one of the, for Harry. He's really he's taking charge of his own life, and he's really kind of in a weird way he's kind of putting back the pieces of this old gang too. You know what I mean? Like he's kind of the reason why they're all kind of really coming back together.
So gross.
I know.
It's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of have to have your flight. Don't you remember when you found me? I was leaving home.
I know.
Uh-oh.
Somebody forgot what day it was.
Yep. I love the look of dread on his face.
I know.
Even though I gotta say, I was never really a fan of the werewolf design in this.
No, it is not good.
But that's how it was described in the book, right?
I know.
It was I remember when I read it, it was described as kind of being very kind of gangly and...
Yikes. I'm like, why'd he have clothes on when he changed back, so now he's gonna be naked?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Because you can't have a naked guy running around these movies.
Yeah.
And I like how here you're seeing that how painful it is to become a werewolf,
Yeah.
whereas the animagus, it's instant.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean that's how they described him. But I
Yeah,
never.
kind of very kind of. I think it's because they make you want to pity him
Yeah, but
more.
he's still.
Because sometimes you see werewolves in movies and they look so cool. And you're like,
Honestly, it's just weird to me that he doesn't have a tail of any sort.
well, I think they're trying to retain more of the human characteristics there.
Yeah.
That's a cool shot right there, though. But yeah, he's so strange and kind of gangly looking. Oh, hey, yeah, hi.
It's like, oh, I want to scold you, but I'm forced to save you right now.
Yeah, I know. Oh. And a part of me wonders too if they wanted him to maybe not be so big and huge, so a dog could,
Yeah.
in theory, fight it and potentially win. Because otherwise, it's like if it was a big werewolf, it'd be like there'd be no way the dog could take it on.
Oh, I know.
I mean, it's still having trouble, but again, it's not so big where it's like
Yeah.
okay.
Well, and he's obviously trying to get him away.
Damn.
I know. Something tells me this has happened before, though.
Yeah. Ow.
It's
That
like,
wet
oh.
sound, yeah. Everyone's like, what? What?
Even though I love in retrospect, you can hear.
Well, yeah, but they said it's only the sound of their own. But I'm like, that's the thing. It's like to a werewolf, it would be able to, I feel, differentiate between like
Yeah.
another werewolf versus like, someone just going, "Ow!" I love these look like the trees we kind of saw in the second movie. I like there's a little bit kind of consistency with the forest because they're in like the dark forest, right? Like
I think so, yeah.
again, let me point out all the horrible creatures that live in this forest that are so dangerous. Where are they? The only thing that's ever dangerous in this forest is the threat that's new that wasn't originally there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had the weird Voldemort thing in the first one. You had Aragog in the second one, which
He's still there, but he stays in one spot. Sounds
yeah, and
like.
he was brought there still. He wasn't one of the indigenous creatures, and now you have the werewolf, which again, not from there. Where are all these other monsters and shit? The Dementors. It's like, yes, where are all these scary creatures in the forest?
Yeah.
They probably leave because all this other shit keeps showing up. They're like, fuck this. Again, I love that it's like a shield or like a. Oh. Batteries are a little low. That's cool though. I love that. I love they're just swooping in and just like sucking you like the good out of you essentially.
Well, they slowly are eating your soul.
Well, yeah, I love there's just so malicious in just the nature of what they are. Ooh.
There it is.
So do they feed on that then?
They draw it out.
Oh, that's a cool shot. And I love you can kind of see the person behind it, but you can't. I know how everyone's Patronum too is like an animal. Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool. Do you get to pick what it is? I forget, or does it just kind of manifest itself naturally as?
It kind of manifests itself.
Like you don't decide.
But I know it can change.
You don't. Oh, really? You don't get to decide what animal it is, right? When it shows up.
I don't think so.
It's looking rough.
I don't know.
I love how you almost feel like it's the end of the movie here.
I know.
but it's not. You're basically going to see the entire other half of like the past 20 minutes, basically.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really clever. Again, it's the best use of what we're going to see. I think I've seen pretty much in any movie. But I think it's like you said, and like even J.K. Rowling said, like, yeah, it was a mistake to use it because what it is so actually powerful. The implications of it. So I think it's like you said, they should have destroyed it on camera or in the book, so they acknowledge why you never see it again. Because there's plenty of instances later on, like, boy, it would be convenient if they sure hell had that. I'm sure Dumbledore wished they used that. Speaking of which. See, like Scabbers. I like the old Dumbledore would have kind of just been like, calm down, calm down. I know.
And I love this whole bit here, Dumbledore.
Ron's face. Yeah. So he just assumed, he just knows, right, without seeing it.
Well, he was the one that gave it to her.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He seems like he already knows it's gonna. Again, that's I'm a little confused though, like how as far as the timeline, but. Yeah, see, look at that. And I love right when he goes out. You know. And it's just so funny. As soon as he closes that door, we'll see later on what happened. Like he already had like confirmation. That's I love how they use this. I love this bit coming up right here.
I like how the chain is twice
Just
as long
smacks
as
his
normal.
hand. I love the look of it, though.
Yeah.
With the symbolism of it, I think that's really cool. Yep, so now we realize, like, oh, wait a minute, all that weird shit that they never explained that was just randomly happening. Nice, good use of symbolism right there.
Yeah.
God, I love the little courtyard thing.
I know, it's awesome.
You know, geographically speaking, I was like, where was that? Like,
I know. I don't know.
It seems like the castle was kind of metamorphosized a little bit.
It is magic, right?
So. Well, you know, I know. I mean, I'm not complaining. I like this layout a lot better.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, where was that before? It almost feels like the castle feels weirdly enough a little smaller, actually. You don't see as many big open spaces because they're not shooting on that big castle anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. I think the castle has more character now. That's again, you see what I'm saying? That's kind of a big, powerful, magical tool you're using for that. Like, wow, you can change time. I'm like, how far back can you go? Could in theory, could you go back and stop Voldemort? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why she was kind of regretted using it because the implications of something like that.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna have a magical time traveling device, you need to have limitations on it, so you don't. Because otherwise, like, well, can't you just go back in time and fix all of this? Save Harry's parents. So I think they explain. Oh,
well,
you can.
Yeah, they can only go back so far.
Well, do they explain that though?
I think they do in the books. I don't
Okay,
remember.
I can't remember.
Again, it's been a while since I've read all the books, but
Again, stuff like that with time travel, you always have to have a lot of rules in place because otherwise, it's like the ultimate Deus Ex
I like that
Machina.
little weird table thing right there. Not really a table, but
Yeah. That It's a treacherous little walkway.
And it's raining.
Yeah, and I love how it has a natural like Dutch angle to it. So it's like, oh crap, you slip and fall, you're going down that hill. Yeah. I love this whole bit.
I know.
Poor Hermione.
I know.
Hermione's really the glue that holds Ron
Oh, yeah.
and well, you actually even see it too. What was it in the next movie, next story, I should say, because it's the same in the books. Well, see, wouldn't she remember the rocks though?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Okay. It's weird to think too. Like she knows exactly where it's gonna land.
Yeah.
Good thing you have those big ass pumpkins right there.
I know.
See, those things make some awesome jack-o'-lanterns.
I know.
Is Hagrid growing them? Is that what he's doing?
I don't know. They just look awesome.
Yeah. Who cares why they're there? They're just badass. I can see Hagrid's got his little green thumb, growing some pumpkins. Like how close they came.
I know.
Did she say something about her hair right here?
They hear.
No, she said.
Oh.
Yeah. Just like that's what she says. No, this is clever how this is all done. And again, I love how we basically saw the end of the movie already.
Yeah.
Like, technically the movie's over. But
Well,
we're literally seeing the other...
how it's going to be changed.
the other part of it.
Yeah.
Well, technically it already was changed. Again, that's why I said that the way to do the time travel is it's really effective. They're not
Well,
like,
but because they're going to let Buckbeak go, that's where it's going to really...
Yeah, but he was already gone. When they saw him bring the axe down, that wasn't on Buckbeak,
Oh, yeah,
remember?
I forgot.
Yeah, that's my point. Usually in time travel movies, you see the event, and then you see them go back in time and then change the event. But the way time travel works, you would never see the before because there was no before. Once you change time...
I thought that chain was, like, barely tied.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. It just is. So you wouldn't see a before and an after. You would just see reality because reality would already be effective. That's how time travel would work.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. This movie and this book got it right. So even though she regrets using time travel, she got it right. She did it correct.
Yeah.
I like how we didn't see these scenes play out differently and then them go back in time and then change them. They played out the exact same way, but now you see why they played out the way they did. And basically the change was happening in real time.
Yeah.
Because it's time.
He's like, oh, yeah, I am definitely food motivated.
You know, just got Malfoy back. Hey, remember him? Yeah. I'll smear a little sheep's blood on Malfoy and you cut him loose in the woods. Let Buckbeak chase him around.
Go!
And I love how Dumbledore knows what's going on. So he's purposely just like this. How extraordinary. Look at Dumbledore.
I know.
Give me that. Yeah, like that was just the whole like. And again, I love how they did it. It's so smart. They got it right. Again, time travel is one of those fickle things. I think people always overthink it, and that's why they always kind of get it wrong. It's like
a large cup of tea, or a cup of tea, or a large brandy. That's what Dumbledore wants.
Yeah. You got no small glasses in this house.
Yeah, I forgot that they did it that way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We've already seen this movie. It's over. The movie's over. There are no surprises left. Well, there kind of is one, but not because we didn't see it, but because we didn't realize what we were seeing.
Well, we saw up till almost the end. There's still a little bit after.
Well, yeah, but in terms of the movie we've seen so far,
Well, yeah.
we've already seen it. But I love, again, how they're using time travel. It's genius. It's the right... Again, this is why it's one of my favorite movie, because it's not just, in my opinion, aesthetically it's my favorite to look at. It's dark and dreary and it's like, all that stuff. But how it's executed, and it goes back to just how it's written to the book. I mean, J.K. Rowling, I think this is why it's my favorite. Out of the 4 that I've read, I know there's more to come, but I know I've talked to a lot of people and they say the 4th book is their favorite anyway, so something tells me even after I read the others, I'm probably still going to like this one the best, and if not, it'll still be in my top 3 probably, because again, just the nature of it and how it's executed. Look, bats! Dark dreary sky and bats! I love it! Damn.
Buck big hungry. He's like, yes! Flying snacks.
He should just stand there with his mouth open, going chomp, 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 chomp. That's what I'm saying. Even though Harry, later on, starts teaching everyone how to do it. But I also think Harry figures out, too, kind of how to do it. It's kind of like... It in of itself is not hard to do. I think it's just realizing how to... The way you make it happen, I think, is not obvious.
Yeah.
Once you figure out how you do it, I think it's easy enough. But it's how it happens to be in the first place that's not... It's kind of not intuitive. Kind of like going Super Saiyan. Remember they said, it's not about just powering up. Every Saiyan does that, so why don't they all go Super Saiyan? It's about creating a sense of need.
Yeah.
Which runs kind of contrary to how Saiyans kind of think and feel. So I kind of like here, it's like, the Patronus, it's a powerful spell, but it's kind of the state of mind you have to be in to create it.
Yeah.
That's the trick. It's the spell itself. It's kind of how you need to be to make it, not what you need to do to make it. And I love how she just does that.
I know.
And again, I love how we're seeing those scenes play out from different perspectives. Different angles. Again, it's so fun because where are all these scary monsters?
Oh my god.
I keep saying it, but there's nothing scary in the damn forest. Except for the things they lure into it, basically. I love when they do shots like this where you're hiding from and you kind of see the creature and you see the little flash of the eyes. I love that. Little subtle touches like that. Where did it go? I wonder. You see it? Oh,
Yeah.
I never noticed that. I always saw it there. I never noticed that first one where you just see the light. That's cool. I like that. Get him, Buckbeak. Ow.
See, this is where stuff's...
Like the Werewolf gets one bitch slap to the face by Buckbeak and he's like, no, never mind. You're bigger than a dog.
He's like, you're mine to fuck up and no one else's.
Okay, so here's my question. Could someone be an animagus and turn into a hippogriff?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I definitely want to be an animagus. That would definitely be my...
What would you turn into?
We already established this in the last one. Because this is magic and anything goes, fire-breathing T-Rex.
I don't know if it works that way.
Listen, it's magic, okay? Or at the very least a dragon. If it has to be animals that are alive today, I would turn... what's the one that chases Harry in Goblet of Fire? That species, Romanian something. The species of dragon.
Oh, I don't remember the exact name.
Because they're like
It's
different.
like Thornback or Hornback.
Because they said
or
those are
something.
like the really dangerous ones, right? Because they're the ones that are like spiky and really aggressive. I think they said like that's a really aggressive species of dragon.
Look where you're standing, Harry.
I know,
It was
and that's-
obviously you. It sucks, but
Well, I think this moment here is bittersweet too because it sucks because your dad is dead. You thought my dad's alive after all. No, he's not. But it's sweet because you now discover this power about yourself.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So in a moment he's suffering from loss all over again, but he's also gaining something in the process.
Yeah.
And again, like I was saying, he's not creating this power through just sheer force of will. It's a sense of need. Mm-hmm. He needs to be able to do something right now to save himself. And that's where the power comes from. It's almost desperation in a weird way. You know, it's like backs against the wall kind of situation.
Yeah.
There's no amount of studying that will allow you to create this. You have to create that sense of need within yourself, this desire. But no, I really like that. That was nice. Mm-hmm. And now we're kind of caught up.
I'm the best wizard ever!
I was gonna say, to me that she's freaking out the whole time.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know.
They need to do like a VR experience of this at like the that new Harry Potter like attraction. Was
Yeah.
at Disney? Is it at Disney or Universal Studios?
It's actually at Disney, I think.
Okay.
I'm pretty... No, is
I
it
don't-
Universal? I don't remember.
I don't know,
I
but
haven't
this would
been,
be
so...
wonderment.
Hey, think about it. He's been trapped.
I know he's gotta be loving this. Yeah, I don't blame him for having fun right now.
I know. No, I wouldn't have gone into the school courtyard, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, we've already established nowhere is safe at Hogwarts at night from teachers who like wander
I know.
the halls like fucking xenomorphs. It kind of sucks for Harry too. This is essentially family, and he has to kind of say goodbye.
Before he even gets to really know him.
I know. It's funny too that for Sirius, this got to be weird too because again, it's like he's seeing like his best friends, in him. It's like people
Yeah.
he's lost, and not just people he lost, but with them a part of his life that he thought was gone forever, and now he kind of sees it like, well, this can kind of start all over again with somebody else. You know what I mean, like
Yeah.
our generation is kind of lost. You know what I mean, but Harry and like his friends are, they're gonna be us but better.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pick up where we left off and do it right. That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful shot.
Uh-huh.
See, what I'm saying? It's gothic, but it's not... It's something that, it's a different kind of the beauty instead. It's not bright, it's not light, but it's beautiful. It's a different kind of beauty, I mean, I think
Yeah.
people realize that's what Gothic is. Gothic is a very beautiful aesthetic, but it's beautiful in a different way. I think it speaks to a different mentality, I mean, it's like the people who are attracted to kind of dark things, they get it. You know, what I mean, they get why this is beautiful, and then there's some people who just don't like it. You know what I mean? But and I love this.
I
Right
know.
when he closes those doors, how do we do? That's how boss Dumbledore is. He just has to set a few things in motion, and it's done.
Maybe we just separated. No.
He needs to cut that damn tree down.
I know.
I know one guy who's got an axe.
An axe and nothing to kill, right?
Yeah, I know, right? God, I want an office like that.
No.
Just like that, actually. It's like my dream house, a place like that, like this kind of aesthetic. And they established there's no cure for lycanthropy. It's like a.
No.
It kind of sucks too because you realize like the discrimination he's got to face.
Yeah.
You know, it's like his whole life now is kind of governed by, you know, his condition.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because if you look at movies like Philadelphia with like Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington, where he was a character who had AIDS, and in the late '80s and kind of early '90s, AIDS was there was a lot of ignorance surrounding it too, and people were being discriminated against. They were being fired from jobs. They were even saying the teachers, like, oh, you find your teacher has AIDS. The parents demand that the teachers be forced out. They don't want. So again, I keep saying that Harry Potter is a big analogy or allegory for real life.
Yeah.
In the real, in the wizarding world, it's you turn to a werewolf. And the real world, you have AIDS, and the end result is the same. People look at you differently. People are afraid to touch you. People don't, they don't want. I don't want my kids being taught by, things like that. The prejudice that comes from having a disease that's not your fault, really.
Yeah.
And again, it's different what it is in the story, but his life is the same as someone like that. And again, that's why, I'll probably end up saying in every single one of these commentaries, but it's not a silly kid story. We're dealing with very real world issues that are kind of, decorated up in the guise of fantasy, but at their core have the same effect on people as their kind of real world counterparts. And that's, again, what I take away from all of this. Lupin is unfortunately a guy with a disease that makes people discriminate against him.
Numbers.
He always gets lucked out with these freebies. Even though, doesn't he have like enough money to buy this stuff? I hope Harry's investing his money wisely. I love how he tied the feather to the end of it.
I know.
That's cool. Whoa.
This free shot they stop it on though is so awkward.
I know. That's a good shot though. I love that though. He's so happy. Let him be happy. But anyway, guys, yep, that is going to do it for our Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban commentary. Our favorite Harry Potter movie. Not to say we're not looking forward to the others that come, but this one always kind of holds a special place in my heart. It was my first Harry Potter movie. But it is, I don't know. It's just, this one's a little special for me. But anyway, Worry not. The fun will continue in our next commentary with Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. We will catch you then. Peace.
Peace.